Hello, and welcome back to part 2 of my video assignment 1 for strength and conditioning. In this section, we're going to be doing some movements with dumbbells and kettlebells, and we're going to be doing a lower and an upper body exercise for each of those modalities. Of those exercises, we're going to do 3 variations for each one, and we're going to begin with using our dumbbells. Let me grab those. To begin with, we're going to do our upper body exercise with the dumbbells, which is going to be our overhead press, which should be a little bit self-explanatory, but I'm going to demonstrate regardless. We're going to be pushing the dumbbells overhead, and we're going to do 3 different variations of that. Beginning with a neutral grip, which is dumbbells facing forward and backwards, and we're just going to be moving up and down there. And then from there, we're going to use a pronated grip with the dumbbells with our palms facing forward, doing an overhead press there. And then we're going to be doing one where we start in a pronated grip and we end supinated, and as we twist up, we're flaring the elbows out, doing horizontal abduction with our shoulders as we go up. Palms facing forward to palms facing out. And I'll do a couple demonstrations here with the dumbbells. Beginning with our neutral grip again, we're going to do a set here, up and down, dumbbells facing forward and backwards. And the prime mover on all of these exercises is going to be our deltoids. Regardless of variation, the prime mover is going to be our deltoids. Now, what section or what piece of the deltoids is what changes throughout the variations. Now, let's do some reps with the pronated grip. Shake the arms out. Give proper rest in between sets. And for our last variation, we're going to start supinated and then pronate. And for the lower body exercise that we're going to be doing with our dumbbells is going to be a Romanian deadlift. And the variations for those, we're going to be doing 3 different variations, adjusting the tempo of the lift. Beginning with a normal tempo, which would be at the athlete or the client's pace. I'll give you a side profile here of what we're looking for. We're hinging at the hips, pushing the butt back, and slight bend in the knees. Keeping the torso stiff and locked in, flexing the core, putting tension on the hamstrings, the glutes, loading the posterior chain. From the front, that would be just our normal regular pace. Now what we're going to do is focus on the eccentric portion of the lift, which is where the muscles are lengthened. So we're going to do a slow, controlled eccentric portion of the lift on the way down, and a normal concentric. Slow and controlled eccentric portion, and a normal concentric. Slow and controlled eccentric portion, and concentric. And I'll do a couple more reps here. Slow and controlled eccentric phase, and normal concentric. Obviously, all we're changing here is the speed of the lift, slowing it down in the beginning portion where we're lowering the weight down to the ground. And for the last one, we're going to do a variation where we control both the eccentric and the concentric portion of the lift, where we go 3 seconds on the way down, 1 second at the bottom, and 3 seconds on the way up. So I would count either out loud or in my head: 3, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3. And so those are 3 variations of tempo using the dumbbells for Romanian deadlifts. Now let's ditch these and get some dumbbells for our lower and upper body portion of those modalities. Now, for our upper body exercise that we're going to do with the kettlebells, we'll be doing some rows with the kettlebells as well. And we're going to be doing 3 different variations of those rows. And we're going to be doing 3 different variations using tempo again, but this time using tempo for isometric purposes. So for the first variation, we're going to do a 1 second pause in between each rep of rows with our kettlebells. We're going to get into the similar position that we were in earlier, where we hinge at the hips and have a slight bend in the knees. And we're going to be doing some traditional rows with a 1 second hold at the top. So as I pinch my shoulder blades and bend my elbows, I'm going to do a 1 second hold. Oh, wow, I don't realize how bad my form looks. Let me do a proper hinge, locking my torso into place. 1 second pause. That would be the first variation of our isometric for our rows. Now we're gonna add a little bit longer of an isometric, meaning where we are flexing and tensing those muscle fibers, but there's no actual movement at the joint. So we're gonna be doing a 10-second pause now. I'm gonna do 3 reps at 10-second pauses. Again, hinging at the hips, slight bend at the knees, stiff torso, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Whew. And for the last variation of our isometrics using the rows, we're gonna do a 60-second hold. And for this one, I'm gonna be a little bit closer to the camera so that way I can see the timer. We're gonna do a 60-second isometric position holding that row. Hinging at the hips, pinching the shoulder blades, and bending the elbows. We're gonna be holding this position here for 60 seconds. Now, while I'm hanging out here, I'm gonna explain one of the reasons why we might do a 60-second hold. Now, what happens when we do isometrics is we get more recruitment of motor neurons as we hold the isometric longer. Another thing that happens when we hold these isometrics for long periods of time, from 45 seconds to maybe 120 or 110, is we stimulate the tissues like tendons and ligaments that rarely get blood supply. We stimulate those tissues by doing these long isometric holds in 3, 2, 1, and down. Ooh. Now that concludes our variations for our isometric rows. Now, finally moving on to the last piece for this part of the video, we're gonna do a lower body exercise with the kettlebells, which might seem a little bit familiar, which is gonna be a hinge, and we're gonna do 3 different variations of hinging with the kettlebell. We're gonna do a hip hinge with the kettlebell here in between, pushing the hips back and slight bend in the knees, with that kettlebell held in between our feet here. And we're gonna do 3 different variations of this. This one being our normal variation, feet flat on the ground. And that's what we're gonna be changing with the variations on these. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add some elevation to my toes. By putting this mat down. So you can see, I'm gonna add an incline to my toes so that they're pointed flexed upward. And I'm going to be doing a similar motion here, hinging at the hips, creating more tension in those posterior muscles like the hamstrings, which we're training in more of a lengthened position by adding the incline of the toes. Make sense? Of course it does. Couple reps here so you can see the front angle, toes elevated, kettlebell in between the feet. And for our last variation, we're going to do a kickstand, which is the same hip hinge with the kettlebell in between the feet. The only thing that we're going to change here is our feet. We're going to pick one foot up so that all of our weight can be on one side, and we're going to be doing the exact same thing. I should be able to pick up this back foot and push the hips back and do my hinge this way. Switch feet for you. And again, all we're changing in these variations is the position of our feet. Here, we're isolating one side more so than the other. And that concludes all of our variations for the kettlebells and the dumbbells, and our variations with the upper body and the lower body, either manipulating how the feet are or the tempo of the movement, or even possibly the position of our hands in the presses. In the last part, we're going to use a couple more modalities using the resistance bands and the medicine balls, and then we'll conclude with our cool down, and that'll be the end of our video. But for now, I'll see you in the next part.